Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Saints added a quarterback over the weekend, and here on Tuesday, the Saints have lost a quarterback. Ben DiNucci on his social media earlier in the day on Monday announced that the Saints have let him go. He tweeted earlier on Tuesday, the NFL is a tough business. Always has been, always will be. Got released by the Saints this morning. Control what I can control and go back to work. This shouldn't come as any great surprise. I am a bald-headed, bearded idiot, look like a thumb, don't really have much good to say ever. And 2 weeks ago, I said this on this show. Ain't no way you're going into this season with Jake Haener and Spencer Rattler as your only two quarterbacks, with respect to Ben DiNucci. Yeah, so DiNucci wasn't going to be back, and the Saints were always going to add a veteran. In addition to what we now know is Tyler Shough, the quarterback that they drafted. Again, I don't know anything about anything, and I knew that 2 weeks ago. So if I'm an idiot and don't know anything about anything, and I knew that 2 weeks ago, this shouldn't come as a great surprise. Just very quickly on DiNucci, if you're not familiar, he's 28 years old, started his college career at Pitt, transferred to James Madison, was a productive player, went to Dallas, Denver, Buffalo, and New Orleans, started his career back in the COVID year in 2020 with Dallas, where he was there with Kellen Moore, incidentally. He did spend the spring of 2023 in the XFL with the Seattle Sea Dragons. Great name, by the way. Sea Dragons, Kraken. Seattle got it working, right? I don't love Mariners, and I don't love Seahawks.
They all go together, though.
Supersonics was awesome.
That was great.
Kraken and Sea Dragons are great names.
All sea-themed, though.
Yeah, I get it.
Like, it's good.
I get what they're doing. They got some minor league teams up there.
I'd have to check that out.
The Mariners, I get it. It's boat. I get it.
Seahawk? Yeah.
But I don't love the Seahawk. A Seahawk's not. Is a Seahawk even a real thing?
Yeah.
No. Like, is a Seahawk a real bird? Or they're hawks? Is there actually a Seahawk?
I thought it was like a different name for a seagull.
Oh, I don't think that's true.
Oh, okay. I'll Google it.
No, you let me know. Let's not lose the point here. So, anyway, he led the NFL. He led the XFL in passing yards in that 2023 season. So, anyway, he did make one NFL start with Dallas in the COVID year. So he's a guy that's been around the league a bit, but he's never going to be a starting quarterback, and this was always going to go that way. So we knew the Saints were going to add a quarterback in the draft, which they did in Tyler Shough. And if you add Shough, now you got to make room, so you're going to lose somebody. Well, the guys you drafted, Rattler, Haener, are going to get the benefit of the doubt, and Ben DiNucci, who was added late last year when Derek Carr was lost for the season. So you had another veteran quarterback on the roster, is now the odd man out. We talked about this pre-draft, and we ran through a lot of lists of names. We talked, obviously, about Aaron Rodgers, how he's sort of the premier name out there in veteran free agency. And there's Teddy Bridgewater and Carson Wentz and Tyler Huntley and Desmond Ridder, and not a lot of great options, right? But you still have to add somebody here as a veteran quarterback, presuming Derek Carr is not available for the season. I think we're all... Are we under that assumption? I guess I am. If Carr's saying they're working through it, they've been very non-committal. I guess my assumption, I'm clarifying, big flashing lights. I am making an assumption here that because they have been non-committal, this is probably a way that both sides are quietly working for an amicable split. Be it Carr goes to season-ending IR, they try to find a trade partner, something that way. But my assumption here is that Derek Carr has played his last snap for the New Orleans Saints. Could be wrong. He could try to manage it and, medically and go through therapy and rehab and try to play. I don't know. But I do believe that the Saints, if Carr doesn't play, they're going to add a veteran quarterback. Shough may end up being your starter, and maybe Shough Rattler, we'll see, but they're going to add a veteran somewhere along the way here. And so you look at the list that we just rolled off for you, the two teams that are still most desperate need of quarterbacks, provided Carr doesn't play, are the Saints and the Steelers. Remember, the Steelers did draft a quarterback, but they drafted Will Howard out of Ohio State. I don't think anybody's thinking Will Howard stepping in as a middle-round pick and then being the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The two guys the Steelers had last year are now both in New York. Russ is with the Giants, and Justin Fields is with the Jets. So Pittsburgh needs an option, and we are all under the assumption that's going to be Aaron Rodgers, that Rodgers is going to do one of two things. He's going to play for Pittsburgh or he's going to retire. So if Rodgers goes to play for Pittsburgh, the best available option then is Teddy Bridgewater, and that would be a very natural fit for New Orleans. Teddy B had been here. He was a fan favorite. He started 5 games in 2019, started a game in 2018 as well. I believe that was the Week 16 game, or the Week 17 game that he started. In any event, he's got a relationship with New Orleans. Remember, he did the whole Bike Life celebration. It was a lot of fun that year. It was Choppa style and everything. So, love Teddy Bridgewater and would love to see him back in New Orleans. It gets a little more complicated when, if Aaron Rodgers chooses to retire and not go to Pittsburgh, and then if you're Teddy Bridgewater and you're the most coveted free agent quarterback currently, and you're trying to choose between New Orleans and Pittsburgh. I'm just playing this hypothetical out, y'all. Just please don't misunderstand me. This isn't some bold prediction. We're just playing out a hypothetical scenario. Then if you're Teddy Bridgewater, you've got two scenarios. Do you go play in Pittsburgh or do you play for the Saints? And let's assume the money's equal. Well, you got the relationship in New Orleans, but Pittsburgh is just a better job. Better established coach, better ownership, more recent success. And if you just look at Vegas odds, win total odds for this coming season, Pittsburgh, their over-under is 8.5. So it's not to say they're a lock to be in the postseason, but the Saints win total over-under is 5.5. They are a lock not to be in the postseason. Like the New Orleans Saints are not going to be a playoff team in 2025. So if you're Teddy Bridgewater, you want to play in New Orleans on an old bad roster, get your head kicked in a little bit, lose, and then next year go to another new place. Or do you want to go to Pittsburgh where you have a better roster, better coach, and probably an opportunity to win, maybe more, and maybe an opportunity to get to the playoffs and win. And it is worth mentioning, Teddy Bridgewater has turned into a journeyman. After starting his career in Minnesota, then coming to the Saints in 2018-2019, he spent the COVID year with Carolina, 21 with Denver, 22 with Miami, and then the last 2 years with Detroit. So he's played for Minnesota, New Orleans, Carolina, Denver, Miami, Detroit. That's 6 teams in 10 years, and he spent his first 3 years in Minnesota and then 2 years in New Orleans. So he's been a journeyman. He's bounced around. He's sticking around the league, and he's played a lot. He's played in 79 games with 65 career starts. So Teddy Bridgewater is still the guy that I would circle and say that's the veteran quarterback that I want. If Carr doesn't play and you're going to add a veteran, that's the guy I want, is Teddy Bridgewater. And maybe Tyler Shough beats him out. Maybe Spencer Rattler beats him out. Or maybe Teddy Bridgewater gives you the best opportunity to make something out of what is likely going to be a miserable season all the way around. But that's what I would want to see. The real question is how do you handle Derek Carr? Do you put Derek Carr, does he have shoulder surgery, and you put him on season-ending IR, effectively ending his time in New Orleans, and then build for 2026? You know where I stand. That would be my preference. Or does Derek Carr rehab, try to just improve enough to be able to play in 2025, and then you move on in 2026? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. My preference is, actually, I wish they would have done it before last season, not restructure Derek Carr, and this whole thing would be over already. But instead, the saga has gone on. As it turns out that while I am bald and bearded and look like a thumb and don't know much about anything, this is a circumstance where I've been right all along with Derek Carr. And I think I'm still right about Derek Carr. And my preference would be move on, have Teddy Bridgewater be your veteran option. You have a couple of young guys, battle it out, see how that goes. Learn what you have in those guys where there's not too much pressure on them to win immediately as a rookie or as a second-year player in Spencer Rattler. And then you go into next season knowing, are you going into the draft, trying to draft your franchise at the top, or do you have a guy you feel like you can build around? And that's where I think they should go. I'm not certain that's what they're going to do, but it's something we're going to watch. But Denucci's gone. That opens the door for another veteran quarterback to be added if, in fact, Derek Carr is not back, which I'm operating under the assumption that he will not be. But we shall watch, wait, and see what Gumsmack and Mick and Grandma Gail will like to do. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.